Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Adam Bradshaw, and this is Talking Coins, the show that we're going to talk about what's going on in the crypto world. Let's continue with some other topics. Let's talk about some of the developments in the cryptocurrency world. I was talking to my brother Ben just earlier about something called LitePay, L-I-T-E, LitePay. Ben, what's LitePay?
So LitePay, it's a payment processor for Litecoin, essentially allowing a consumer to have a debit card that will then transfer directly into dollars when they swipe.
So how is that beneficial?
This is really groundbreaking. That people have talked about this type of technology with cryptocurrencies and blockchain for a long time. And at least according to LitePay, it's coming out very, very soon. It's really bridging that gap between holding a cryptocurrency and being able to use it at your local store or at the local restaurant or wherever you're shopping.
So LitePay will be a service for all cryptocurrencies?
At least for now, specifically for Litecoin.
Okay, specifically for Litecoin. So basically, go ahead.
There are some people that have their doubts about the legitimacy of Litecoin. It's not a fully functional network, and there's been a lot of claims similar to LitePay in the past. So we have yet to see if it actually will materialize into something real that we can have in our wallets and use on a daily basis.
Okay, interesting.
Why do you think that Litecoin is not a fully functional network?
Well, Litecoin is a fully functional network, more about LitePay being connected to a debit card. There, like we talked about in the previous episode, banks and even credit card companies have some issues with cryptocurrencies, and connecting that directly to a debit card or credit card has been a challenge in the past, and so we have yet to see if it will actually work.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see. That sounds interesting. I wonder if LitePay comes out, if other cryptocurrencies will try and develop something similar.
It'll be interesting to see. I hope for the best for it, because I think that I'll be a user because I support cryptocurrencies, and I think that it would be something that could get widespread adoption among consumers.
All right, well, LitePay sounds like an interesting service. That's something I think I would definitely use, especially if they had it on other coins as well. But maybe Litecoin will be the first ones to develop this, and then other coins will follow. We'll have to see.
Yeah, LitePay.
Another thing, talking about Lite, Tom, you mentioned something called the Lightning Network. This isn't Lite, L-I-T-E, but it's light like lightning. What is the Lightning Network?
Yeah, the Lightning Network was something that was proposed, I think, in 2015 and has been worked on for 3 years and is just now being added to Bitcoin, or not being added, but supporting Bitcoin. It's in what they call alpha testing on the Bitcoin testnet. What it is it makes it so you can have very fast transactions on Bitcoin that don't make it onto the blockchain but are still verified and very fast, and virtually no transaction fee. So that's one of the biggest problems Bitcoin has had, is not enough transaction capacity per second. And Lightning will really increase that and do it without making it more expensive to use Bitcoin.
So that's the benefit of it, is you can send less money and the transaction fees will be less as well.
Yeah, because recently Bitcoin fees, I paid $40 on one Bitcoin transaction, and Bitcoin has been proposed as a use for microtransactions. If I need to send somebody 1 cent every minute, how am I going to do that using Bitcoin if it costs $40 each time I do that? So Lightning can solve that problem.
Well, that'd be great, because I feel like, some of the transaction fees can be a little steep some of the time. So,
Tom, I've been hearing about Lightning Network for a while now, but I feel like it's been so slow to release. Is this something more about the adoption or about the development life cycle? I think you as a developer in a blockchain project maybe could shed some light on what's happening in that background process.
It's really just been in development for 3 years, as I understand it. It's been on Bitcoin testnet for a little bit longer now, and now it's just coming to Bitcoin mainnet, they call it, which is what everybody uses, is Bitcoin mainnet. So it's been on these test networks for a little while longer, and this is something new. And when you're dealing with people's money, you want to make sure that you get it done correctly. So taking a long time to develop something like this, I think, is a good thing. Hopefully it means that they're doing it right, and that the end product will really work well.
Tom, you also mentioned something called SegWit, segregated witness. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, segregated witness is, also aiming to solve that same problem of high transaction fees. It is sort of a trick that they use to lower the size of the transaction you're sending, and Bitcoin fees are based on the size of the transaction. So a lower transaction size means lower fees, and that was rolled out I think 4 months ago or so, but there's been very little usage of it so far. Right now, about 15% of transactions on the network are SegWit transactions, so it's very low. Coinbase, one of the major US exchanges, is one of the main sources of transaction fees on the Bitcoin network. And they announced that they're going to be using SegWit very soon. So that's some good news for Bitcoin. It means transaction fees will continue to come down.
Well, it looks like there are a lot of developments in the coin world, and it's not going anywhere, even if the price is going down a little bit. That's just part of being in the crypto world. It's volatile, and it's just going to be like this. I want to ask my brother Tom, who, like I've mentioned, is the founder of Hyperstake, proof of stake coin, and also the lead developer of PivX, who has originally been proof of work but is working towards proof of stake in the future. What their plans are in the future for their coins, what developments they have in mind. Tom, what do you got for Hyperstake and PivX in the future?
Both have a very full, what we call roadmap, which is basically a list of developments that we're working on. Hyperstake, we are working on two primary things right now: a governance system, we call it, which will allow users of Hyperstake to vote on future issues of the coin. They'll be able to vote on the inflation rate, which will dynamically adjust automatically based on their votes. Same thing with the block speed, how many blocks there are per minute, and parameters like that. We're also working on a new blockchain platform for Hyperstake called Hyperchain. We're working on the white paper now. We haven't released all the details on that yet, but it's going to be really cool. Integrate with IoT and various other devices in a secure way. PivX, we do have a very solid roadmap with, and one correction on that: we are proof of stake already. We used to be proof of work, but definitely already proof of stake. Right now, we have the zero coin anonymous algorithm on there, and we are working on making those zero coins able to stake as well as the normal PivX coins. So that's one of the main developments we're working on. It's really cool, as well as a governance system for PivX that's going to be completely redesigned and is being designed by the community themselves. So that's really cool too.
Sweet. What about you, Ben? Are there any projects that you've been looking at in particular, altcoins or other projects in the crypto world that you've been interested in?
There's a few that I'm really excited about, and most of them are ones that have real world use now that actually have something to show. One of them is called Augur, A-U-G-U-R. The ticker is REP. It's really REP. Yeah, it's really an exciting project because it's allowing future contracts built directly onto the Ethereum blockchain. So you can essentially make bets, and then the bets will be settled through the blockchain smart contract. And the rewards are decided by user submitted information. So if you make a bet, then after the time passes when the event occurs, then they get a large group of people to then submit the information to who won the bet. And there's some statistic that says that if you get the average answer from 100 people, it's statistically going to be correct more often than the answer of one expert. And so that's what they're really running off of. I think that's really interesting. Also, Coin is a distributed online storage platform that's using blockchain to kind of rival Dropbox and Google Drive. They have a functioning system now, although it's kind of slow, it's a little shaky, but it's totally working. And we've tested it, and it's...
What was the second one you were talking about? I'm taking a look at Augur here, REP. It looks like it's, as of right now, it's about $37. It's down about 25%, just like the rest of the market, but it looks like it's been pretty solid over the last little while, just kind of coming down with the price of Bitcoin. But what was the second one you mentioned?
The second one is called Coin, SIA Coin.
Okay.
And yeah, it's an online storage platform that's distributed, and you can basically turn your computer into a cloud storage platform for other people to use. So you can either be a user or you can be a host, and you could get paid to be a host. And a lot of people have old hard drives sitting around. So plug in a hard drive, get Coin running, and you can make a little bit of money for it.
And those are some interesting coins. They're both in the top 50. Coin here is at 31 right now. The price as of now is about 1.5 cents. So we'll have to watch that. You know, as the other coins are falling, it's also falling with the price of Bitcoin. But before we end the show here, I just want to ask you guys what you think is going to happen in the crypto world with the price, and we'll just say over the next couple months. Do you think it's going to keep coming down? Do you think it's going to go up and down? Let's start with you, Tom. What do you think? And obviously we don't know, but let's just make some predictions.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not a financial expert or anything. And quite frankly, I consider myself to not be very good at trading. I'm not much of a trader. I know a lot about these markets, but they are very hard to predict. So what I'd like to see happen, I'd like to see the markets just stabilize, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in this sort of maybe $5,000 Bitcoin price range, 5 to 7,000, with maybe some ups and downs in there, and hopefully there's going to be a little bit of a boring period over the next 2 months where people can get a little bit more comfortable with digital currencies again.
Do you think that Bitcoin ever will see the $20,000 days again?
I think it will, but I think it could take over a year or two to get there. But not sure.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? What are your predictions?
These cryptocurrency markets are so hard to predict that I know I'll just be choking on my own words later no matter what I say. But I'm very bullish on the market. I think that we're gonna bottom out here soon, and the markets are gonna turn back up. But for me as a trader, I almost don't care if they're going up or down, because as long as there's movement, then there's an opportunity to make money. And especially if you have the ability to trade on margin, you can do long and short positions. But it's risky, and you got to be careful, and that goes along right with what the SEC is saying. Be careful with your cryptocurrency investments.
Thanks for joining us today, Ben and Tom. We'll definitely have you guys on again. And thanks for watching. If you guys like the show, don't forget to comment, tell us what you think, maybe subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on Talking Coins.